as we look ahead to the forthcoming fight, and God only knows what that's going to throw up, between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua in Miami, Florida. It's 1 week away.
They say I'm unproven, untested, that I talk big and fight small. Well, surprise.
It's time for America to see what real power looks like.
I want to see who's still talking when this right hand flies.
This is the fight that shuts everyone up.
This is the fight that shuts man down.
This is the moment. This is what you want in boxing. Incredible. What a shot. It is lights
out. Judgment Day. Friday, December the 19th. It's almost upon us. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. That was a teaser on Netflix. Ade is with us for the next hour. Ade, good afternoon. How on earth have we got here?
It all started one day. I don't know. Ultimately, money makes the world go around. There's a lot of money involved in this particular event. There are two big personalities, one that's done it from the YouTube world, but to be fair, has stepped into the squared circle as well and had some fights, and one's done it from the boxing world. And these two behemoths are coming together on a platform that is really trying to show that they're here to stay when it comes to not just boxing but sport. And a lot of people will watch it. It's madness, but it's madness that's almost must-see madness. Like, everyone will tune in. I think it will do as big a numbers as Canelo Crawford. In that sense, I think, considering what that was. And yeah, I am still surprised that, and I know Nikisa will probably sort of push back on this, I'm still surprised it's been sanctioned and that it's not a quote-unquote exhibition fight. But then again, I watch fights all over the world. I've been ringside for some fights that I'm like, how has that been sanctioned? So I guess me and Simon have said this before, boxing's the wild, wild west. And as long as there's enough powerful people and money involved, things will get over the line. And this is one of those things.
I think I heard you mention there are two behemoths involved here. How is Jake Paul a behemoth?
He's a behemoth in terms of his following and in terms of the pulling power he has. He's now, whether hardcore boxing fans want to admit this, he's one of the faces of boxing. And that's saying something. Like, the amount of people that put their hands up to want to fight Jake Paul when they realised the Gervonta Davis fight weren't happening. He can... Like, Oleksandr Usyk says he wants to fight him. Yeah, like that's the one of the biggest names in the sport. There aren't that many people.
You love the sport, Ade, and you love working in it. Is it an uncomfortable truth, if you like, that Jake Paul is part of the top flight boxing scene?
No, it's the truth.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. But I also know
uncomfortable or not.
No, it's not uncomfortable. I mean, boxing's now become a 365-day-a-year sport. There seems to be events on every single day. I can live with Jake Paul having two of those days, knowing that I'm still going to get decent fights for the majority of the year. So yes, sometimes I tune in and it's a Jake Paul thing, and I'm like, oh. But then I also know I'm getting Bivol Beterbiev in a couple of weeks. I'm getting Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo.
What, the real stuff?
Yeah, I'm getting the real stuff. So I can live with this, but I'm not going to pretend to be an idiot by saying I'm not going to watch it, because I am. I'm definitely going to watch it.
Oh yeah.
I need to see what's going to happen here.
Do you think, Simon, that yes, it's fine and it's true that Jake Paul has become a face of boxing?
I think he's part of the financial tapestry of boxing. I don't think he's a face of boxing. I don't think he represents boxing as the sport in any significance. He represents the commercial opportunities. It's no coincidence that this product lands at Netflix, which is an entertainment business. So as far as boxing as a sport is concerned, Jake Paul is utilising the recognizability for some reason that he has. I don't know, with no disrespect to the kid intended, who's made a fortune, and fair play to him. I admire anybody that's got the entrepreneurial spirit to be successful in the world. I don't know what he's famous for. He's now utilizing boxing, and he's bringing an audience. Netflix are looking at this and going, let's have a look at this. We put Tyson versus Jake Paul on, Our lifetime value of a subscriber is $900. We got 2 million extra subscribers out of that. That's 1.8 billion, and we paid them 100 million to do it. Good business if we can get it. It crosses over entertainment. It brings an opportunity. The bigger question is how does it draw Anthony Joshua and Oleksandr Usyk into the equation? And the only reason it draws them into the equation is because it's an easy night's work for 75 million quid. Everybody would do it. Every fighter would take it because it's not really fighting. The consequence of it is the reasons why it's in Florida is because it's one of those Wild West states that will license something like this, because no grown-up state really would license a fight of this significance in terms of a former two-time heavyweight champion of the world against, at best, an area level fighter.
Yeah. Well, as you might imagine, back with Addy and Simon in a moment, Jake Paul has been building up to this fight as only Jake Paul can do. And he's been showing off a black eye. He's been sporting a black eye, and he was more than happy to show that off to his mates. Have a listen.
Wait, is your eye okay? How'd that happen? Who are you sparring?
I'm sparring a bunch of world champion heavyweights. I think Lawrence Okoli did that to me. He's like 6'6", 270.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. What are you weighing right now?
I'm like 215.
Get to what weight to fight AJ?
218, 220.
What's AJ's weight? 220?
He'll be like 250 in the ring.
Huh? 250?
Yeah.
Jake, 250 pounds he's gonna fight at.
Yeah. It's definitely a pretty wild fight, my brother.
I've been sparring a bunch of heavyweights. I think it was Lawrence Okoli who hit me. Do you think he can win, Addy?
Absolutely not. No chance. No way. I don't even think, and this is being very serious, this shouldn't go beyond a round. There's no way, and Simon said it, this is a former unified heavyweight champion of the world that I still believe is a top 10 heavyweight against, at best, an area level fighter. If AJ was fighting an area level heavyweight now, it wouldn't go beyond a round. I'd expect AJ to get rid of him, let alone AJ being 40 pounds heavier. The Americans look at AJ slightly different to how we do. They look at him as someone that's washed up. When he was in their country, he got beat by Andy Ruiz, who's not gone on to do anything. If Andy Ruiz went on to have this glittering career, then it maybe would have made that defeat look a lot bigger. They watched him recently get defeated by Daniel Dubois. They think he's done. So they don't have respect for him maybe the way we do over here. So Jake thinks he can win. I've been around Jake, and he's delusional, but he's very strong-minded. So he thinks he can win, but there's no way this should go beyond 3 minutes.
Who's the A-side? Who walks into the ring first?
AJ walks into the ring first, so Jake Paul's the A-side. It does say Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, not Anthony Joshua versus Jake.
So AJ goes into the ring first?
AJ goes into the ring first, which I think will be only the second time in his career, I believe.
And then the big build-up for Jake Paul to walk in.
Yeah, but ultimately, if I'm AJ, look, there would have been options that would have been put across his desk. Maybe a Tony Yoka would have been put across his desk for a fifth of this. Jake Paul comes across your desk, you're thinking this must be a joke, and it says 60 million on it. You're going to take it. You're going to take it. And if you're A side, your B side, even if there's a C side, you're going to be happy to take that, get to America, have a sparring session, and come back home.
Yeah. Funnily enough, Addy mentioning Andy Ruiz Jr. 6 years ago this week, Joshua got his revenge on Ruiz Jr., Simon, and won the IBF, WBA, WBO heavyweight titles in Saudi Arabia.
I don't think Andy Ruiz has stepped out the larder since then, has he?
If somebody had said to AJ that night, 6 years from now, you're going in against a YouTuber, he'd be like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, but the world turns. I mean, I try to ask people what this fight looks like, and is there any capability for Jake Paul to stay out of Anthony Joshua's way long enough to take it past the round? Is there any capability that he has? Because if he steps into range, he's going to get knocked out and he's going to get hurt. I speak to Hearn about it. Are you worried about him getting hurt? Of course not, because then he's going to get a big bag of money. But the fact is, he thinks that Joshua will get him out there with a cluster of punches rather than one big shot that knocks Ngannou out, because Jake Paul won't put himself in the range of being hit on the chin like Ngannou did. But no one can make a case. None of the fighters that I talked to, whether you talk to Paul Smith or anyone else I've spoken to, Angel Fernandez talking about it, it was Anthony Joshua's training the other day, they don't think he's got the footwork to be able to keep out of Anthony Joshua's way, even if Anthony Joshua wants to go in there half-cocked and carry him like Jake LaMotta in Raging Bull did for a couple of rounds.
Yeah.
Even if he wanted to do that, Jake Paul hasn't got anything to be able to get out of the way.
Well, as we said, Addy, 6 years ago, Anthony Joshua more or less revived his career by seeing Andy Ruiz Jr. off. Where's his career after this one? Presuming he wins and wins very comfortably, what would be next for Anthony Joshua?
It's all mapped out, isn't it? I mean,
Soppy Bob's packed up, hasn't he, again?
Yeah,
he's
Tyson Fury
he's now back in
decided
the mix,
he's now back in.
Tyson Fury.
Yeah, he put out an Instagram post.
I'm back.
Pretty much.
No one's talking about me.
Yeah. So it's mapped out, isn't it? I mean, Turkey was on stage in the Ben Eubank fight and said, didn't he, that he wants AJ to fight in February and then in September. So I'm guessing February is a top 20 guy, and then September they're hoping finally will be Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. If this fight goes past against Jake Paul, goes past 3 or 4 rounds, it completely just scuppers those plans. Like AJ needs to get rid of Jake Paul the way we saw Ben Whittaker get rid of Benjamin Gavazzi. When you're in there against someone that is substandard and below your level, make them look substandard and everyone move on and everyone
blast
can
them
pack up
out.
and go.
Or the way AJ got rid of Ngannou.
Yeah. Very, very quickly, just probably, when I mentioned Jake Paul being the face of boxing, not just him, I think what he does do that I think does deserve to be credited or at least accepted is what he does for female boxing. Like what he's done for the MVP promotions.
Just signed Caroline Dubois, hasn't he?
Yeah, just signed Caroline Dubois. I mean, he's helped put on 3 fights for Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, where they would have earned best paydays. Right. So I think he's done a lot for that side of boxing. So yes, I know he's not everyone's cup of tea when he steps in the ring, but what he does in terms of his promotional company, I think it's been really good for the sport.
Many of you getting in touch. Here's Chris. Jake Paul should have called out Chisora or Dillian White. AJ will destroy him. Many people, just before we move on, Addy, many people are saying exactly what you said about Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua. It's so blinking intriguing. Yeah. You can't miss it.
Yeah, you honestly can't. I had no interest, by the way, in Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. 0 interest. I even watched that, so that says a lot about me. But this one, there is a level of intrigue. Is Jake going to run around? I mean, can he close his eyes and, I dare say, land a right hand? I mean, will AJ get rid of him? I mean, there's been a lot of talk, and I don't believe it's true, that Jake Paul's fights are rigged and fixed. If AJ goes 5 or 6 rounds, then that's gonna come to the fore even more, isn't it? So, look, I will stand firm in my beliefs that AJ should and will get rid of him in under 3 minutes.
We're going to head off out to Dubai very shortly. Before we do that and speak to one big name in boxing, I can assure you of that. Former WBO heavyweight champion Joseph Parker has spoken publicly for the first time since he tested positive for cocaine in October on the day of his defeat in the ring to Fabio Wardley. And of course, Parker is saying that he's innocent, as you might expect. And Joseph Parker's been in this very studio with you and I, Simon, and we find him to be a thoroughly decent gentleman. He says, I was devastated. You have to do all these voluntary drug tests in camp, and then all of a sudden you get a bit of a surprise and a shock that you fail on a fight day. So I'm just going to go through the process of trying to get it cleared, and I want to be in the ring as soon as possible. When you heard about this, Addy, and you're steeped in this sport, what was your initial reaction?
Stunned. Surprised, just because when you hear sort of boxing and drugs, you assume it's a performance enhancing drug. So I expected there's some sort of he's failed for clomiphene or something along those lines. When you hear cocaine, there is a level of surprise. I've been around Joseph Parker for years, and I'm not just trying to say this to defend him. One of the nicest people in boxing, nicest. And when you think what was at stake in that fight as well, if he was to win, he was going to go and fight Oleksandr Usyk for everything. Why risk it when the carrot that's been dangled in front of your face is worth hundreds of millions in the pot? You're that close to the promised land. Why risk it? So I was surprised, but this isn't the first instance we've had of a boxer with a recreational drug. And I don't think it's going to be the last. So I wait to see the outcome. Hopefully there is a level of innocence that can be proved and he can get on with his career, because at his age, you're looking at a 2 to 4 year ban. And that'll be the end of Joseph Parker. So fingers crossed he can prove he's innocent.
Okay, so much for Joseph Parker. Certainly still a very big name in the world of boxing. And here's another. And we're about to join him live in Dubai. He's at an IBA event over in that part of the world. So let's head there now. Deontay Wilder, welcome to the show on talkSPORT. How are you?
Yeah, baby, I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
Baby, we're doing well as well. I'm with Simon Jordan and Ade Oladipo. Deontay, it's great to have you on the show. You have been in this very studio with Simon and myself before, and it's a great thrill to speak to you over in Dubai. What are you doing in that part of the world?
Right. Oh man, it's a beautiful place over here. It's just like people always say I'm tall, and I always say the average different, and the average is different over here these times around with all the big fights that's going on. And we got great fights over here. I'm here with the IBA, with the Palouf and Gassov fight, which is going to be a great fight while it lasts. And we're here for as you can see, we're here for I guess this is the semifinals for the Worlds. And these guys are getting on right now. It remind me of the amateur pedigree of things as far as boxing. I haven't seen, amateur boxing and guys, coming up in the ranking and coming to an actual fight in a long time. So this is a real treat for me right now.
Right. Now,
and, I'm just looking forward to all the
thanks, Deontay. I've got Simon
just looking
here.
for everything that's here.
Sure thing. Ade's here, and so is Simon. They're going to come in a second. Recently, there was a conversation about you maybe heading into the ring with Oleksandr Usyk. Is that becoming more of a conversation? Is this going to happen?
Yeah, it's definitely becoming more of a conversation, a real conversation as that, and boxing is a business, and, sometimes business, you can have solid business and then it falls through, many times you see that, and then most of the times, if we're lucky and God blesses us, we get the great fights and they happen, and great things come from that, great memories for sure. And right now we're definitely in talks of that fight, and I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Once I get the final say-so of how things are and the final details of things, and I know for sure that it's on, then my heart will be pumping, my blood will be boiling, and that's when the excitement happens and get ready to go to camp.
Deontay, Ade here. You look great, by the way. You sound great. It's good to see you in good spirits. Was you surprised by the call out?
I wasn't. I was like, I would be 50-50. I would say that I was 50-50. I never get opportunities. Nobody really ever give me chances. Especially coming up. They always talk about the power and stuff like that, and when you have power like that, you get less chances. And I guess after the losses and stuff, people get brave now. They get brave, they get more confident, and they're willing to call you out a little bit more. It's crazy how you have more chances when people think you're down and out or don't have it than when you're at the top and you're knocking guys out. But I've never left. My mind probably left a little bit. A lot of things was going on in my personal life. I just couldn't manage myself. After 3 therapists and sports psychologists, God is good. That's all I can say. That's why I'm so happy now. I'm just so delighted.
I can hear the bronze bomber coming back in your voice there. I can hear a little bit of the bronze bomber coming back. You mentioned that negotiations are happening, conversations are happening. Are we so far afield that we have a month, a day, a venue? I mean, Usyk's recent fights have been in the UK and in Saudi. I mean, are we potentially talking about a fight in America? How far afield are we?
Oh man, you got so many details, and I
ask a lot of questions,
but I can't reveal it at this moment. I can't. I mean, I got some of the answers, and some of the answers are blurry and not yet in order. And you just don't talk boxing business when it's immature. And right now is an immature moment in time, or I would say not immature. I would say premature. I would say because it's not nothing really in order at this moment in time, or full effect. So I don't want to announce anything that's still lingering around of certain things that's going to be in maybe a contract or a negotiation or things like that. So
if
I don't really want to speak on it just yet prematurely.
Sure.
Exactly. I don't want it, because the thing is, what happened is so many people are excited, the fans and stuff. It's crazy. Like, my social media has been going crazy with the comments and the media. And I mean, as far as people messaging, and even in the streets wise and stuff. And one of the things that you don't want to do is false advertise something, get the hopes up, give people hearts and blood boiling and pumping like mines, and then when you put something out there, they're expecting that because they're listening to every word that you're saying, and they're holding it, and then if it doesn't happen, you can lose fans over it.
Fair point, Deontay. Fair point.
If it don't happen or something like that. So
Deontay,
we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it held and wait till it when it finally everything is in order so we can put out a big splash, you know.
I get what you're saying. We're a week away from Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. What have we got here?
Oh, man, I mean, that's been a good question. Well, that's been a good question that everybody wants to know, you know. And when I look at the fights and stuff like that, you know, it's good. As I look at it, you know, for the fans, it put boxing still on the map because it keeps boxing relevant, I would say. I would put that would be a great term I would put in there. Keep boxing relevant. Having exhibition fights like this, different celebrities and different things like that. I look at it as a fun thing for fans and stuff like that. I don't really take it seriously, you know, because, you know, we in the business of boxing. That right there is just, you know, exhibition stuff. But I'm hearing they say it's a real fight, but yeah, it's a real fight because both guys are getting in there fighting. I mean, it's gonna be, but other than that, I mean, you know, as far as a boxing sense of what we're looking at and all these guys and stuff like that, you know, how real it is, what it will elevate to, you know, and things like that, exhibition, you know, I'm still the one that be thinking certain things are scripted as well too. So, but we'll see, you know. I always say may the best man win, and main thing about it, may those guys go in there and have a hell of a lot of fun. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about, having a great time, a lot of fun, and getting out there safely, and having great memories that have been built behind it to last forever.
Deontay Wilder, it's been a joy having you on with us back here in London. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys, and you always know, Bob Squad!
Deontay, thank you very much indeed. Misfits Boxing with KSI and the Sowland brothers has typically been the home for YouTubers, as we all know, but they've now launched the MF Pro division. What is that? It aims to showcase traditional boxing boxers who are professional alongside crossover offerings, if you like. So the professional fighters are in there now. And one of their first signings is British cruiserweight champion Viddal Riley, who, of course, won the British title in a unanimous decision win over Chivon Clark in April. That was on the Eubank Jr. Ben undercard. And I'm delighted to say that cruiserweight champion Vidal joins us live in studio this lunchtime. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, man.
All the big names are with us. Deontay Wilder. Viddal Riley is with us. Listen, first and foremost, since leaving Boxer, you were linked, Vidal, with a few promotions, including Matchroom. So why Misfits Pro?
You know, I was blessed to have a offer from everyone when, you know, I left Boxer, when I was declared a free agent. And that includes MVP as well. So there was a lot to think about. I sat down, I spoke to my team, spoke to my management. We're thinking about what the next best move is for me, not for people or what people want to see. And when I got, you know, the call about MF Pro, my initial reaction was, no, I'm not doing that. Like I've said what I want to do. I want to have a traditional path. I don't want to be associated with that community. I've said all those things. And they said, right, this is going to be a pro division. This is going to be cards that are only pros. You'll still be able to do everything that you said you're going to set out to do, but just combine where majority of your following comes from and fight under that banner. So for me, it made sense because I can make the content that I make and have it appreciated by the community that have chosen to follow me, and also still fight my mandatory, still have purse bids, still do all the things that, you know, the road to a world title looks like.
I like that.
Yes.
So you, Addy?
I was surprised. Let me not pretend I was surprised. I just assumed 100% it was going to be Matchroom. I don't know why. I just thought he's going to sign because I thought Eddie's definitely going to look at Vidal as someone that has that crossover appeal, very much like a Ben Whittaker. I've always thought, and I've put pressure on Vidal because I've said Vidal's going to be a world champion.
And you have said that, yeah.
We sometimes go to the same gym. I see him there, train. So I've always been a big fan of Vidal. And because I've done the Misfits scene, I presented Misfits events for nearly 2 years. And I've always just separated the two. I've said, okay, that's Misfits and it has a certain appeal to a certain person. And then there's real boxing. So I guess the question is, can MF Pro attract the eyes that people view when they watch Matchroom and they watch Queensberry and they watch, as you say, the MVP shows?
Yeah.
Or is it going to be a spillover from the crossover scene? I think that's the risk for Vidal. But Vidal's almost like the perfect person to see if this works because he's got his foot in both scenes.
Do you view it as a risk?
Everything's a risk. I mean, it's a big decision to make, but we live for risks. You know, you got to take them to move forward. And yeah, this is a calculated one. You know, we don't take irrational risks, but this was a calculated risk. It's been not only worded to me, but written as well, which we know is important, of what my standing will be and how that looks going forward. I look forward to seeing crowds merge. You know, we're going to have guys that drink 20 pints. They want to have a night out with the guys and watch the boxing. And we're also going to have families in there because there's going to be a 9-year-old that asks their parent, can we go and see his fight, please? And I might meet KSI tonight. So,
yeah,
you know,
it's Simon, isn't it? It's different.
A ticket's a ticket.
I'm not surprised. I mean, if you listen to this young man speak before, when he's been in the studio before, you know the origins of his thinking and his background. You know what his audience base was. So it's not surprising to me that there's synergy. Whether you don't want to move past the stigma of the Misfits branding and what that's been, there's a lot of synergy in the potential crossover audience benefits. The interesting thing would be at the broadcast, not the events themselves, but the broadcast capability and what that does for you. Because in the end of the day, live events get you to a certain point, broadcast opportunities get you to another.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how much cachet they have getting him the fights that he wants to have.
Yeah.
That's what we're really talking about.
Was it an amicable parting of the ways between yourself and Ben Shalom at Boxer?
Yeah, it was as amicable as it could be. You know, I mean, in the position that Ben's currently in, he wants to keep the best fighters that he has under his stable. You know, and it's not going to be, you know, I'm happy to see you go vibe. But it also wasn't any beef. You know, it was just a matter of, we've come to this point. I'm in the position I'm in. I've worked hard to get here. The more you grow in boxing, the more power you get, and you can now start to pick how you want your career to look. And in that position, I made the decision to go with MF Pro.
But did you not think that Ben and Boxer Vidal could take you to the next level?
I wasn't sure, and that's why I didn't sign the contract. I wasn't sure. I mean, I've been with Boxer to obtain the English title and the British title, but then there's a difference between winning titles and being the face and being the star. And I think with boxing being a sport that can easily fall into not being mainstream anymore based on how many things are going on in the world, I need to give myself the best chance to be the face, be the star, be pushed, help my brand, help all elements of my brand. And I think MF Pro leans perfectly into that.
So what's the pathway going forward with MF Pro?
Oh, the pathway is obviously I've got a mandatory for the British title that's still being negotiated. Also negotiating for the EBU as well against Masternak. And either of those fights should land in Q1 of 2026. And then I don't really look further than that. I've been in the game.
We want Alois Jr. fight. That's what we want. We want the
yeah.
Alois
I think the people want that for
the people have been screaming. I'm getting texts now. The people are screaming for Alois Jr.
I mean, I would love to punch out Alois for the things that he said earlier this year. I would love to, but it's business.
What did
and
he
we're
say?
in here to level up.
What did he say about you?
I can't quote everything that he said, but he said a lot of things. He was obviously calling me a coward and you know, things I don't.
Some things are for 9 p.m.
Things I don't. Some things for the late night show.
Yeah, sports bar. Tune in sports bar 10 o'clock.
I don't blame him. I mean, you're not supposed to compliment your enemies or your rivals. I don't blame him. But you know, just where I'm from, if you say certain things about people, there's comeuppance.
Yeah,
and I'll be happy. I would be happy to do that. But if I can have the European title fight sooner than I thought, because I didn't think that opportunity would arise until April. If that can be made sooner, I'll fight for the EBU and continue my journey.
So you're 28, right?
Yeah.
Simon, do you think this boy beside you is going to become a world champion?
Depends who he fights. Depends what opportunities are facilitated. If Jai Patai steps out of the cruiserweights and moves into a different division, which eventually he's going to have to do. I mean, listen, he's won the British, which is a great achievement. He doesn't want to stop there. I think he can beat Masternak. I think Masternak, we've seen Masternak. We saw Masternak get beat by Chris Billum-Smith when Chris Billum-Smith was in a different space. I don't know. I mean, styles make fights. Levels get determined when you see them step up. And when we see him step up a level, that question will be asked and answered. He'll tell you yes, and so he should.
Vidal, Jai Opataya in the cruiserweight division fought this week, retained his IBF ring cruiserweight titles. Demolition job over this fella, Hussein Sin-Cara. Much further down the line, if the two of you were to meet, would that be something an opportunity you would welcome? I mean, when you consider what Opataya is all about, he is one wrecking ball. I mean, this man Sin-Cara, was hospitalised after suffering a brain contusion. Small brain bleed, fractured a C1 vertebrae. I mean, he was left in a dreadful state.
Yeah, he was, and I hope he's doing well. And it's always the risks of fighting. You know, these things can happen. That's why we have to train so hard and prepare to withstand potential punishment. But a fight with Opataya, when I'm ready to fight for a world title, if he is still a world champion, and that's where I'm best aligned, I'll fight him. I mean, it's just I'm a fighter, innit? So I'm not one of those people who will say, "Oh, I'll fight him tomorrow," because now you're just trying to get clicks. But when the time is right, and I've had the progression that I need, where it's sufficient enough to fight an elite opponent like himself, I'll fight him.
How do you view the cruiserweight division?
I think it's moving, it's transitioning, it's in a transitional phase right now. I think it's about to get exciting, in fact, because I think a lot of the light heavies who have failed their world quest there will try at cruiser. Light heavyweight division has a lot more talent than the cruiserweight division. And I think people that may have come up a bit short there will try their chances at cruiser. You know, we could see a Callum Smith at cruiser. Not saying that he's failed, but I'm just saying someone who's at that stage who can move on and is big enough to do so. We could potentially see Yard at cruiserweight. I think there's quite a few people who are going to come into the division in the next few years, and the world champions will definitely change.
It's interesting, actually, because I spoke to Beterbiev about jumping to cruiser, and he's like, yeah, he wants to jump to cruiser as well. He wants that one crack at becoming a two-weight world champion. And there's always been a lot of talk about Jarpataya versus Beterbiev.
Yeah.
Almost like brick versus brick. And he's a massive light heavyweight, Beterbiev. I have no idea how he makes 175, as is Yard. These guys are huge. Like if Yard was to sit there right now next to you, you'd think you're the same weight class because he's that big. So I think it's a good shout. I do think we are going to see a lot of light heavyweights jump up and be small cruiserweights. And small. You're
just about to see it. David Benavidez is stepping up to fight Zerda Ramirez.
There we go.
There you go.
And Benavidez.
And let's not forget who Zerda was. He was a super middleweight before. And he's jumped up. So
Were you aware, Simon, the cruiserweight division is budding, as Vidal is suggesting?
I think if you can make those, I don't know whether Callum Smith is going to jump up to cruiser, but because I think he wants a shot at the super middleweight opportunities. Whether they're going to deny him those opportunities is another thing. He's fighting David Morrell next, isn't he? But the fact of the matter is that if you make these assumptions that the super middles are going to jump into the light heavyweight, it pads the division out, because I do think it's a little bit light in terms of the quality that's there. We've got the usual suspects buzzing around, which is the CBSs of the world that can make their reboot their careers if they get good wins. We've got Jack Massey if he's still fighting. We've got other people that are around. And those are the sort of fights I'd like to see him in. I'd like to see him fight the kid that's calling him out. And I think Frank Warren thinks he'll have that fight all day, every day of the week, twice on Sunday with Eloise.
We'll see.
So we'll see. But listen, look, I want to see good British. I think he's a personality. I think he's got character. He's very smart as well.
Vidal.
Yeah, and that's why he's made this career choice.
You're only saying that because you sit beside.
No, I sat and listened to him last time he was in the studio.
All right.
Didn't I?
You did.
Absolutely.
You did.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Vidal, as you are with us, and of course, we know what you're doing now in the MF Pro division. So wherever that takes you, we wish you well. And of course, we've seen what individuals like KSI have achieved in the boxing world, and all credit to him. He's done well. What are we going to see in Miami in a few days from now when AJ gets in there with Jake Paul? We spoke to Deontay Wilder in Dubai moments ago, and he told us what he thinks of it. What do you think of it?
I expect to see AJ put in a demolition on him. I've been using this word all week, so I'm using it today as well. An obliviation. That's what I expect to see from AJ. I don't put rounds on it. I'm not one of them people, if you don't get him out in 2 rounds. Because things happen in fights. It's a 24-foot ring. Jake Paul can run around the ring if he doesn't want to attack, and that sometimes takes a couple rounds. I'm not worried about how long it goes. It's about the finish, and it's about it not looking an ounce competitive. As long as that happens, we get what we want.
I mean, many people are surprised that this was given a go-ahead, and that Jake Paul, and God forbid, gets seriously hurt.
This is a true reality of the game. We was just speaking about Sin Cara, someone who's a trained mandatory world level fighter who can end up in the hospital. So Jake Paul is not immune to that outcome. God forbid it happens, because everyone's just trying to make a bit of money, and it kind of ruins everything if that is the outcome. As much as people say, we want to see AJ kill him or whatever, you don't really. Well, I don't. It affects the game. It affects the infrastructure of everything. But we would like to see a KO where he's completely fine after.
I mean, Adi said earlier on that Jake Paul is now undeniably one of the faces of boxing. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do agree with that. And the reason why is because the most famous people in the world are now internet personalities. Back in the day, everyone wanted to be Michael Jackson or Whitney Houston or Michael Jordan or Mike Tyson, but people want to be Casanat Speed or one of those Aiden Ross or Kick or a Neon, or these sort of guys. These are now the people that kids want to be when they grow up. And if we associate ourselves with who's to come after us, then you're ready for the future.
Good comment, is it?
It is, to me, it's a little bit of a tragedy because
the names are compared to the names that we're speaking about. I get it, but it's the truth.
The one caveat for me wanting Vidal to do well is that I don't want to see an amplification of his cousin's music.
Vidal, thank you so much for being with us. I met Speed, this character Speed, at the Ballon d'Or, and I must admit I didn't know him. But apparently the rest of the world does.
Yeah,
he is beyond famous. He's beyond. He is, and I hate to admit it, but when he said Michael Jackson, the kids look at Speed like that.
Michael Jackson.
It's actually quite crazy.
Today, that is the way the world has gone. So if we want to keep a sport popular and alive, it's in our best interest to associate with what the future want to see.
Sure. Vidal, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Terrific stuff. And days away, obviously, we'll build up next week to Jake Paul. Yes, Jake Paul fighting Anthony Joshua over in Miami, Florida.